All right, hey everybody. Here I have for you guys four basic clips that basically show all of you guys exactly what I see every single time we try to press together as a team. And you guys should all be aware of the fact, and I've been saying this for the last month or so now, that we as a team in general need to be better at how we press together as a team. And you're all going to see how exactly um, how much you guys are actually ball watching rather than actually stepping to a man, which is what I've been stressing for a good majority of the past month or so as we as we work on pressing together as a team. And basically every single one of us here, except maybe with the exception of one or two of us here, actually like do nothing but ball watch, and like the select one or two of you that don't do that, you guys are actually doing your job. And so I'm going to show all of you exactly what I mean when I say step to a man and not just gravitate towards the ball and not just ball watch the entire time. Okay. um, and you're going to see something very familiar with regards to with regards to all of the four clips that I'm about to show you guys today, because they're literally all the same exact scenario. And so I guess we'll just get started right away. So the first clip that I have for you guys is literally right at kickoff. The first exact thing, right? The very first thing from the first second, right? Um, and you're going to see, obviously, Alex Winbury is going to have the ball first here at kickoff. And so I'll show you guys exactly what I mean in just a second. Let's just skip over there real quick. All right. So I'm going to pause as I want to talk about something. And so it's literally right after. Okay. So you're going to see, and again, each scenario that I'm about to show you guys, each clip that I'm about to show you guys is literally the exact same. All right. So I'm going to, I guess we'll get started here. All right, so they drop it back. All right, they go to the far side from in regards to where the veil's placed, and then they work their way out, and you're going to see here. All right, bang. All right, the moment that you see my mouse here, the moment that this midfielder here plays it to the center back, all right, Xavier is already reading the play, and you're going to notice that in at least two of the clips here, Xavier is literally the only person who does his job on the defensive side. All right. And so this guy plays the ball to a center back, and Xavier is doing his job and cutting off this the passing lane, or not cutting off per se, but going right away to this to this teammate here of Alex Bunbury's. Okay, and as we get here and bam here, all right, he's doing his job. Yes, maybe I want to see Xavier sprint to him a little faster than that, just to really emphasize the fact that hey, you're not this teammate here is not going to think about playing the pass here at all. All right, but I want you guys to see. I think um, all of you guys are ball watching except Xavier. Xavier's actually doing his job. Everyone here is just gravitating towards whoever has the ball here. All right, and then you're going to see that they're able to relatively get out of this what should be a detrimental situation to them, right? Because of the fact that everyone is ball watching. Okay, and I'm gonna explain why in just a second. Right, it ends up working out for us in the end, but we probably could have gotten the ball a lot sooner had we done our job more effectively. All right, but here I'm just gonna show you guys here. Okay, and then bam, they realize that there's no space on this side, so they go to the other center back and go there. Okay, should have been a PK there, but that's okay. All right, and then bam. All right, and then the ball ultimately ends up going out here. Okay, so what I'm about to show you guys exactly. Basically, what I'm about to show you guys is that they really shouldn't have been able to recycle the ball back to the side that they just got the ball from. And I'm going to show you why they were able to do just that as we backtrack a little bit here from the get-go. So you're going to see that they restart, or not restart, but the game gets kicked off. They start with the ball all the way over here. All right, that's fine. We've reset. I'm not asking everyone to just sprint from our half of the field all the way all the way to the top of the box. That's a little unrealistic of me. But okay, the ball gets swung. All right, ball gets played to the midfield. That's fine. We can live with that. And then when the ball gets here, all right. So again, part of the reason why I'm asking Xavier here. Yes, Xavier did do his job, but part of the reason why, sorry, excuse me, but part of the reason why I'm asking Xavier to sprint here is because it sort of sets the tone for the team, right? If Xavier starts sprinting here, right, then maybe, hopefully, I'm hoping that it does, but I'm hoping that everyone else sort of sees what Xavier was doing had he sprinted. And so that sort of sets the tone for, hey, if maybe Eli and Titus see, hey, if Xavier's going to sprint here all the way tight to this guy, then hopefully that sets the tone for everybody else and say, hey, all right, if Xavier to Eli, if Xavier's going to sprint all the way here, maybe Eli should be thinking, oh, maybe I should be sprinting to the guy who has the ball now, right? And Titus should be thinking, oh, I'm going to sprint to this midfielder here who's shifting all the way over here, right? And then so on and so forth, right? But then, all right, you're going to see where Moses is at the moment, okay? And there's and you're also and you guys are also going to see where Connor is at the moment here, all right? And so ball gets played here, okay? All right, Xavier does his job. All right, I've already established that. Okay, he prevents this pass here because the moment that this guy plays the pass here, Xavier should be able to do his job and not allow this defender here to turn. All right, and turn and go forward. Okay, all right. Eli, now you have to do your job and put pressure on the ball handler. Okay, again, pressure has to be fast. All right, the moment that you go here, maybe you can be talking to Moses because again, we talk about it all the time. Our two strikers up top should be on their center backs at all times when we are trying to team press, when we are trying to organize a press, a successful press. Okay, so Eli, you should be sprinting here, telling Moses, right? Telling Moses to say, hey, cut off that other center back so that this guy doesn't have an option to get out. All right, and in that case, as if part of the reason why Connor isn't fully pressing onto this guy here is because Connor, I'm pretty sure, believes that Moses has this guy. When in reality, this midfielder right here shouldn't be Moses's guy. All right, the other center back. And again, all my strikers listening to this has to realize, all right, when we organize press, you guys are to press onto the defenders, not so much the midfielders unless you absolutely need to. Okay, but we have players around Moses. All right, Eli, again, you sprint to this guy. Again, you set the tone for our press. All right, if you jog towards this guy, all right, Xavier maybe could have set the tone as well, but again, Xavier is the only person in this clip who does his job. Titus should be cutting off this midfielder here. All right, sprinting to this midfielder here. Eli should be sprinting to the ball handler here. Moses should be sprinting to the center back here. This in turn is going to force Connor to also do a defensive job and sit on their number 6 here, right? And it's just again, we talk about all the time. It's just going to lead to an ultimate domino effect. Okay, Xavier again. I'll go over where each of you guys should be again. Xavier does his job initially, all right, that's fine. All right, the moment that Xavier comes here and cuts this pass off, all right, Eli, sprint to the ball handler, all right, because you're the closest defender in proximity. Okay, in turn, maybe you can talk to Moses, but Moses should also be realizing, all right, hey, I'm going to cut off his only option to get out, right? That's really his only option to get out. Okay, so you should be cutting off here. In turn, that's going to force Connor to say, hey, this guy has space. All right, Moses, you can talk to Connor as well. Right? Connor should be getting this number 6 here, all right, and then our other holding midfielder, which at this case we started with Gotham, I believe this game, all right, should be shifting all the way over here to this area right here, okay, where my mouse is, all right, and then I think Hanok was playing on this side at the time as one of our center backs, all right, um, he should ultimately be around in and around this area here to stop if the pass decides to go all the way through to through this passing lane here. All right, so again, we have to do better and being a little more conscious of actually stepping to a man and not just all ball watching and all gravitating towards the ball, which is what 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe 5, if I include Gotham off screen here, are doing at the moment. So so this is Moses's goal, right? And again, this is literally right off a kickoff. All right, right off a kickoff, we do the exact same thing. All right, let's go to 12:55 here because that's where they kick off. Okay, all right, game gets reset, and I'm gonna sit here in silent. I'm gonna let you guys watch the whole thing here. Okay. Bam. All right, stop there. Okay, it's so hilarious, right? Because if we go back all the way over here to back to the first kickoff, right? We'll go to 4. We'll go back to that minute. All right. They kick off. They kick off, goes to this midfielder here, goes to that far side away in regards to where the veil is placed. They eventually work their way back to this side. All right, literally no different than what we just saw. If we go back to where we were, all right, goes to this midfielder, or one of the midfielders here, goes to the far side in regards to where the veil is placed. All right, and then they will literally work their way back to this same exact side. And again, Xavier does his job well. He goes straight. Again, we want to set the tone a little bit, Xavier. But again, I'm not at that might be asking a little too much, just in general of soccer players in general. But if everyone sees you sprinting towards this defender here, maybe everyone starts to realize that, hey, we should be sprinting to our men as well, right? But regardless, again, Xavier is the only person who did his job here. Everyone else is ball watching. Look at Moses. Moses is over here again. He dropped off away from the center back. All right. Had this defender realized, all right, he would have just gone straight to the center back again, and they would have got the same exact scenario as that first clip would have exactly happened. We probably would have won it eventually, but we can do a better job at closing down the spaces, because now Moses, you're here, Connor off screen. All right, he's going to do the exact same thing that he did in that first clip. He's going to stay a little further away from the play because he believes that Moses, if the ball gets played here, Moses should have this covered. But that's not what we want. That's not what we want. We want to cover all of their guys. Right. So Moses goes to this defender here. All right. And Connor will be forced to do a defensive job, and that's going to be marked their number 6 here, which is exactly what I want my number 10 to do on the defensive side. All right, our number 10. All right, we talked about this multiple times. Our number 10 has to worry about whoever their number 6 is. All right, that shouldn't necessarily always be our strikers' jobs. All right, their number 6 is something our number 10 has to worry about. Okay, so Connor, more often than not, should be sitting on this guy right here. Moses, you should be sitting on the other center back, in this case over here. Now Titus here is going to do something that I talk to you guys about oftentimes. Okay, he's going to sit in the half space, right? In the half space here for no reason. Had this player not missed the ball, had the ground cooperated with him a little more, right? And had this player had maybe just a bit more technical ability, right? He would have made Titus pay for allowing him this much space. This is all the amount of space a good player should need to be able to make us pay for any sort of lack of discipline, right? But we got lucky here. Okay, we did. We really did. All right. Bam. Had he been able to turn here, I promise you, knowing Titus, he would have gotten beat on the pace. All right. But we got lucky. Again, I'm going to repeat that. We got lucky. We got lucky. Okay, because again, we should just be cutting off that passing option in the first place, guys. We have to. All right. We're ball watching. We're ball watching the whole way. All right. Titus Titus has to fully commit to just staying on this guy's back the entire time. Okay? And again, what's that going to force this defender to do? Right? If he has no options, what are they going to do? Which is literally what Alex Bunbury did all game last game. Right? They hoofed the ball up, and for the most part we won at least 70% of those 70% of those 50-50s in the air. Okay? Or the race or the race to our own goal. Okay? But again, we sit in this half space, right? And I want you guys to understand the dangers of just allowing this pass to be played. Whether or not you believe this player is skilled or not, anything can happen the moment that you allow the player that has the ball to play the option to give the pass to whoever he wanted to give the pass to. Okay. And so, Titus, you should be standing right here on this guy's back. Xavier does well again. I'm going to repeat that. Eli's not putting quite enough pressure on their center back. He's jogging, and again, in this play, the pressure starts with you. Same with the opposite side, Moses. The pressure will start with you. Okay. Um, and especially on our home field, guys. Like, this is our home field, right? Other teams are not going to want to play on this grass, like and because you guys already don't like playing on this grass, right? So if we force these other teams that play on this home field, this specific home field, right, and force them to make quicker decisions, right? And the decisions that they don't want to make. Again, this guy wanted to make the pass because Titus allowed this much space to be allowed to allow the ball to be played, all right? But if we force them to make decisions, like if we force this guy to cut back and go back to this side over here, maybe the ball gets stuck, right? Maybe this defender's not as good with the ball at his feet, right? Then Eli can maybe pick his pocket, right? And then we can counter off that, and then we can create an opportunity for it. It all falls into place the moment that we do our jobs. But not everyone is doing their jobs. Again, I'm going to repeat. Right? Xavier does his job here. Eli should be sprinting towards the ball handler. Titus should be tighter on this midfielder here. Moses should be sitting on the other center back over here. That forces Connor to sit on the number 6 here. Gotham's going to be forced to be able to sit in this area here, or sit on the other midfielder that's coming off screen over here as well, right? And then we're ultimately going to be win the ball. We all have, and this all comes down to our lack of communication as a team and our lack of organization as a team, and something that we all need to be better at. All right. Again, it ends up working out for us, but again, had this been a better player, we would have been made to pay. So this next clip, all right, again, it's right after a kickoff. It's actually right after Eli's, I think that's his second goal. It's whatever the header goal was from Josh's cross. Um, and um, this press was actually one of your better presses as a team. I just don't think you guys were fully aware of what you guys had done. And so I just wanted to show you guys what you guys did well here in order to allow us to uh, win the ball back. It wasn't this clip, like I said. This is after Eli's goal here. Josh gets a good cross off. Um, Good header from Eli. Good solid header. Good placement. All right, let's skip all the celebrations. And then again, all right, so right after kickoff, right? Again, same thing. They're going to go to this side, further away from the camera. They make their way all the way over here to this side. Xavier, um, Xavier was a little late. All right, that's fine, but we can excuse that. The moment that this ball is getting played here. All right, again, we're a little late. All right, so we want to do a little bit. So Xavier, this is one of those times, like I said, you were doing your job for the majority of this game. All right, but the moment that you start the moment that this pass is played, this much space is, if this player had been maybe a little more skilled and maybe a little more intelligent, right? They would have he would have made you pay for being late to the play, right? But because he wasn't, okay, you were you were you were able to be excused for being a little late, which is so we can live with that, all right? But here we see, all right, we're here. Hey, I'm just going over this clip myself. So actually, let's just let it play. All right, all right, and then that ties against the ball way here. Okay, so let's just pause right here. All right, so again, all right, Eli. Now, because this ball. Actually, let's rewind a little further. All right, so the ball comes here, goes straight to the center back. All right, and Xavier is starting to sprint over there, which is fine. Eli, you're already here. All right. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Eli, you're already here, so you're already cutting off this. You're already basically cutting off this option, which is okay. And so I think part of the reason why our press was better here, right? Because you see Titus is sprinting towards this midfielder here finally. Xavier sprinting towards here. Eli's already cutting this guy off. Connor's actually marking the guy that we told him we should mark in the previous two clips. Moses still isn't marking that center back, but we can forgive that in this specific situation because of the fact that the ball's already over here on this side. All right, but I think part of the reason why the press actually happened a little happened better in this clip is because of the fact that everyone's starting position was closer to this area of the field. And what I mean by that is normally on kickoff, right? They went here, they went to the midfielder, and then they went to the outside back over here. And so obviously that's going to force Eli and Moses um, to shift further away from the outside back that's off screen at the moment over here on this side, right? But because of the fact that the ball actually went straight to the center back, right? So now instead of Eli and Moses both starting on the opposite side over here, they're just starting basically in the center of the field, right? And so there was obviously less space to travel, right? And so that's why the press ultimately ended up working out a lot better for us in this clip. But also part of the reason why I wanted to show you guys this clip was again because it was actually one of our better presses. But this was also the reason why it was also one of our better presses. And also, I also wanted to show you guys because I don't believe you guys were fully aware at why we were able to win the ball back before Titus gave the ball away very cheaply. Um, and so ball here, and you see again because we're starting in the center area, Eli probably should still be sprinting again. The tempo, the pace starts with our two strikers. And so ball comes here, forcing them to make a quicker decision. We are here, and again we're squeezed their space, all right, and then we ultimately won the ball back, right? We force a bad pass because Titus sprinted onto this midfielder here, stayed on his back. The ground didn't cooperate with this guy, and so this guy had to panic a little bit. The ball goes past him, it falls straight to Hinook, right? And so that's why our press worked a lot better here in this clip, all right? But again, something that I want you to be aware of, and you're actually going to see as I pause now. Moses is actually sitting on the center back now. Okay, but again, I don't think if I pause at a certain moment, all of you guys are still ball watching to a certain extent, right? And I don't think you guys are fully aware that you guys actually marked off this defender's only options, right? And so we just have to make more of a conscious effort to realize and understand that why this guy wasn't able to make the decision that he wanted. Well, it's because you guys actually did your defensive jobs this time, right? You guys actually marked the guys that you guys were supposed to mark off. All right, last clip for you guys is here in the second half. This is obviously where it's Jack's goal. Obviously, took Eli's hat trick away from him, but again, understandably so. The ball was coming down a bit slow, so Jack had to doubly make sure that the ball went in the back of the net. But again, literally the same exact situation is off kickoff. And again, we actually this is actually a good example of a press. But we were still a bit late, and I'm going to show you exactly why as we speed up here. Okay. Um, all right. So off kickoff. Um, like I'm going to tell you they're literally going to do the exact same thing. We allowed them to do that all game every time we scored a goal on them. And so next time we play them, we should get a handle. This is what they like to do at kickoff, right? We should be able to take advantage of now that we have the film to review over this. Okay, but you're gonna see it comes a midfielder, right? They're gonna go to the far side in regards to in regards to where the Veo camera is placed. They go to the outside back. They don't actually, sorry. They switch, all right? And you're going to actually see Josh is actually communicating. All right, and I think Titus heard Josh well, or Titus just realized it was coming. This was his mark anyway. All right, um, and so Josh is communicating, making sure that Titus is on this guy here. At the same time, though, Josh, we want to try and multitask if we can, right? As you're doing that, start sprinting to this guy, because you were there a little late. I think I remember yelling that you were late, Josh, but I didn't realize that you were talking at the same time when I was on the sideline here initially. Um, but good on you to recognize. But again, we want to make sure that we want to get to these options as early as we can because again, better players are going to make us pay for being as late as Josh is at the moment. Right? Again, this is a whole lot of space for any good player to make us pay for being late to. Right? But again, we ultimately won the ball. Right? We forced this guy to make a quick decision that he didn't want to make, and it falls, I believe, to Titus. Right? We win the ball back, and then we create a decent opportunity that we weren't able to capitalize on, but it was a good opportunity nonetheless. But it was a good press, a good organized press from us. So those were two good examples of us being good organized pressers. But again, I don't think you guys are fully aware of what you guys were able to do as a team. And that's exactly why I'm showing you guys this because I want you guys to be aware of how you guys were able to win certain presses and why you guys were why some other teams are able to make you pay for other certain presses that we aren't able to do successfully. And so again, I'll show you guys one more time. All right, the ball gets played. All right, ball goes to the far side in regards to the camera. And then Eli does well. He's pressuring this center back here. Xavier, I actually didn't realize initially at first, but Xavier cuts off this pass initially, which is what forces this defender to cut back, um, cut back to come to this way, come to this side. And so Eli comes here. Moses does well. Maybe Moses, you want to get to this guy earlier again because of the fact that you went to this guy, right? Connor 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 is not on this guy that he should be on because of the fact that he believes that Moses has this guy covered. If you want to mark this guy, you tell or Titus if you see as well, Connor should be sitting on their number 6 at all times when we are on the defensive side of the ball, right? But again, it ends up working out. Moses sprints towards this center back here, which is fine. Josh is communicating. Maybe Josh, again, I'll remind you one more time. We want to try to maybe multitask, communicate, and go to this guy at the same time. Don't just communicate and stand there, right? Start sprinting to this guy early, right? But again, we're doing a good job. Connor still, I believe, is off screen, but I think he makes his way there eventually. All right. Yep, he does. He's right here. And then look at that. We close off all of his options. Okay, that's what I'm. This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say to step to a man, not just to ball watch, not just to step towards the ball, not just to gravitate towards the ball. Sorry, excuse me, guys. We have to do a better job at being more conscious about stepping to a man and stepping to who should be our guy, right? Who should be your defender? Who should be the player that you should be marking as you guys are stepping as well, right? And it's just going to help us. It's just going to help us win the ball back in favorable positions for us moving forward into the future. And we have to do a better job at getting to those spots early because better players and better teams are going to make us pay for being late. And so we just again it involves a lot of communication. It involves a lot of organization. It really just involves a lot of work. And again, defense in any sport in any game just requires a lot of hard work, and that's something that we as a team need to thrive off of, need to be better with, right? And so just this short little voiceover commentary here is just for you guys to be more conscious of all these situations and and what you guys are doing and to show you guys exactly what I mean when I say step to a man, don't just gravitate towards the ball, right? And I hope everyone takes note of this.